Okay guys, welcome back. So today we're diving back into some ball testing. It's been a while. We've not tested really any of the new golf balls for the season since probably back in October, November. We probably done our last ball testing. So there was a little bit of excitement down at the PGA show about some of the new releases, and we actually have a fairly extensive list of golf balls to test now.
Yeah, quite a few.
So I think the one that we've had lots of requests for, and we were actually really keen to, is the Bridgestone range. And they were kind enough to send us a little prototype box with a sleeve of each of the new golf balls in it. So
pretty cool.
Today we're going to test the Tour BX and the Tour BXS.
So basically Tiger Ball and Bryson DeChambeau ball.
Correct. So the firmer compression golf balls with obviously two different sort of covers designed to give you two different sort of spin profiles.
Right.
I think we have become more and more impressed with the Bridgestone golf balls as we have done more and more testing with them.
Agree with that.
You know,
and on the course too.
On the course.
We've actually done some few rounds with them now.
Yep. There was a lot of buzz actually down at the PGA show at various things we attended, whether it be Accra Day. There was some boys using Bridgestone balls. I found a few.
Yep.
So obviously we weren't hitting them that well, but there was a lot of people really keen to test these, and I think probably amongst most people's opinion that Bridgestone, Titleist, probably throw Srixon in the mix there as well. I mean, you know, there you go, TB5. A lot of people are loving TB5, but you know, a lot of people are really saying, you know, this is the ball to beat.
I agree with you.
We had, I think, a few of you may have already have heard this story, but we had an interesting experience with the Tour BX at the PGA show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With Big Al and Alex Etches, and when we were fitting him. We changed his golf ball to the Tour BX and picked him up about 5 miles an hour ball
at least
speed.
4 or 5. Yeah, it was softer ball to start, and then this one afterwards, and it spiked big time.
It spiked massively off his driver, and I think at the time I'd said to him we'd probably see about a 3 mile an hour pickup, and then once he sort of, whether it was a combination of he saw the pickup and he started to sort of, you know, go after whatever it was, the net result was about a 5 mile an hour gain in ball speed. Going to the Tour BX. So I'm really curious to see how these two perform.
Absolutely.
We've saw the Tiger Ball, the XS, provide significant additional spin.
Crazy amount of spin. Yep.
So,
I think if anyone, the only hesitation I had from playing it is just controlling, being able to take that spin off.
Yeah.
But in terms of distance control, I felt like I hit a lot more greens with that. I just knew where the ball was going to stop with an iron.
Yeah.
It's just really the 58-degree wedge where I was overspinning it. But again, I think you can solve that through technique if you learn how to hit a bit of a less spinny shot.
Yeah. He at Torrey, he talked a little bit. They asked him about the ball in a couple of interviews, and he said that he felt like it spun more around the greens.
Okay, the new one.
Yeah, the new one, but it flew through the wind better.
It's really the perfect kind of combination.
Which would be, you know, certainly what he wants. I mean, he always wants a golf ball that spins a lot around the greens. I mean, for his repertoire of shots, being able to get the ball to sit as quickly as it does,
for sure,
is right in his wheelhouse. And like you said, the way he flights his shots, being able to hit it through the wind, and you know, I think that's a big thing for a lot of guys, stability of flight.
Absolutely.
So let's see how much these two separate, and really what we would expect really spin is going to be the biggest difference. So see if the excess spin pulls launch down or what we tend to get from those.
Okay, so wedge 7-iron driver, the usual
test.
It's good.
Spin hard.
Yes. It's a nice looking flight.
Hit and sit.
Yes.
Attaboy.
Nice. Good.
Nice.
Good. That's a good one. It's nice. Zip. It's good too. It's good. Oi. It's good.
It does have a little extra spin. You can just see it just
Yeah.
float a touch. Oh, get in the hole. Look at that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so pretty impressive stuff. Good performance from both golf balls. So on the wedges, we saw a 200 RPM differential.
Yeah.
So the XS was a little higher spin, maybe not as much as we thought it would be.
I thought it would separate more.
Yeah.
For me, I know 58 is always the wedge I spin the most, so I guess it would make sense that 58 would probably have a little bit more separation between the two balls. But it's not. I was kind of expecting, I don't know, honestly I thought maybe like 1,000.
Yeah.
So that's probably more that they've increased the spin of this ball. That's my theory. I think the BX has come up a bit in spin versus this. I think this is probably exactly where it was before with the Tiger ball.
And then when we go to the 7-iron, we are seeing more separation. So we are seeing lower launch, higher spin. Like we talked about a little bit at the start, we might see that from the softer cover pulling the flight down just a hair. You can see the blue. With all of them, the blue trajectory sits below the red trajectory. That's just the launch being coming out that fraction lower. Ball speeds,
same.
Nothing really in it. I mean, a couple of decimal points, so nothing to speak about. Distance, so there's no loss of distance. It's not like because you spin at 400 RPMs more, you're all of a sudden going to hit it shorter. You didn't at all.
No.
So you just have a little bit more spin, and like you talked about, that's something you want to use if you have the ability to take it off.
Yeah, if you have the ability to go, okay, I'm hitting 6-iron, 80%, I'll spin it a bit less. It'll fly the same distance.
Yep. And I think even at tour level, to be honest, that's one of the things that Tiger can do that not many other people in the world can really do.
Rare talent.
It's a really rare talent to be able to knock 1,000 or 1,500 RPMs off just by softening it, by gripping down, by taking a club with less loft and,
it's very true.
And shallow in that spin loft window. And then on the driver, we saw an interesting little difference in the driver. This is worth kind of
definitely.
This is worth pointing out. So we did see a separation in ball speed that surprised us.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant amount. I mean, that's about as much as we've ever seen between two kind of compression balls.
Yeah.
What I think is the interesting development is that they've dropped the spin on this XS off the driver, because the last time we did XS, it was the highest spinning driver ball.
That's right.
We had tested.
I do remember that.
And now it seems like whatever the core construction is, they've obviously made it so that it can spin the same as BX and basically launch the same. It's just the compression factor. If you're at a high swing speed, you may see that bit of loss in ball speed.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it would be enough for the player that really needs more spin on the wedges.
Yeah.
That XS, I don't think that's less than 1% difference over the course of that 177. So it's not enough of a trade-off. I don't think that you would really be upset with it.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's enough that if I'm just thinking back to the testing we've been doing on drivers recently, though, if we saw a driver at 174.8 and one at 177.3, we'd be like, wow, that's quite a difference between those two drivers, and for the ball to produce that little bit of a difference. I think if we put them all up there, I think there's a real good argument for you that you would play the Tour BX. Because you spin, there's such a small differential on the sand wedge.
True.
There's enough spin on the 7-iron. You know, it's not like 61, 70.
It's plenty, right?
It's plenty.
Yeah.
And obviously you're getting
more speed
2.5 miles an hour more ball speed out of the driver. So I think every argument leads, and it doesn't feel clicky or feel in a way that you don't like it. So all in all, I would say definitely for you the Tour BX would be a really good ball for you.
Definitely. I like that if I'm kind of golf course swings, I know I'm down closer to 170.
Yeah.
So if it's a couple extra miles an hour swinging the same speed, that's good. I mean, then you don't feel you really have to push on it. It just jumps off a bit better.
I'm excited when it comes to the summertime, and we are going to do some outdoor testing. Get around the green and play some little shots. I'm really curious to see how they react on little, small 20 to 35-yard pit shots.
Yeah.
See if you can get one just that releases and one that maybe comes to a halt a little bit quicker.
That may be kind of the last tiebreaker in this, because right now I would agree it's totally clear cut. For me, I would go with the X for sure. But if the green testing is a little more significant, it might be worth kind of making a reevaluation.
Well, it also is one of those where you can, if you start to see that performance with the wedges and the irons, and you've got a little bit more spin, do you start to do better with some of the other drivers? All right, there's some of the ones that were maybe on the lower spin side. Maybe we fit you slightly different to your driver.
True.
Because you have so much potential gain with the higher spin in the other areas. Maybe that's so
you compensate by, you could probably pick up the ball speed with a little less loft, drop the spin with obviously the same kind of thing, or CG location. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Lots to work on this year.
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
Hopefully, guys, you've got a little taste of what the new Bridgestone ball is all about. We are purely testing it on speed and spin.
Yeah, this is launch monitor testing.
That's what you can get from indoor testing on golf balls, speed and spin and things like that. So obviously, aerodynamics, you guys are going to want to test them for yourself. Get them outside and play with them. That would be the first thing I would say to any one of my players is, once we narrow it down to a couple of golf balls, then it's a case of get it out,
for sure.
Get it out on the course and test it. So these tests are great to give you baseline numbers, but ultimately you're gonna want to see if you enjoy playing the ball for a round.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
All right.
Okay, more to come in the golf ball testing. See you again soon.